Ladies and gentlemen, we are now live in prime time. The brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters, Sportswire Radio. But we'll talk a lot about WCE tonight, undoubtedly. There's no question. We'll definitely talk a lot about Wrestling Championship Entertainment. But before I do that and before I rise to the occasion, although our guest here didn't necessarily rise to the occasion too much if you watched the last show, but he's looking to the future. He's looking upon what's ahead. But before I do those things here, I wanted to take the time to celebrate WCE because, ladies and gentlemen, when we think about Wrestling Championship Entertainment and we think about the history of WCE and the importance that they have not only in the Midwest backyard wrestling circuit, but also truly to Sportswire Radio, because it was more than 2 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, that WCE became the first backyard and underground wrestling company to come on to Sportswire Radio. We famously had on Shawn, Jovi, and then Craven Rage come on here and talk about WCE and talk about some of the things they had done and some of the amazing moments that they had and just everything that led to where we are today and a movement being born. All wrestling matters. Ladies and gentlemen, where would the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit be if and everybody right now today is focused upon this whole debate for whatever reason, if you've been following social media, trampoline wrestling, non-trampoline wrestling, underground, independent, yarders who were serious, yarders who were not. But today, ladies and gentlemen, it's because of WCE that we're having this conversation on social media. It's because of WCE that we've gotten a chance to be able to speak with some of the brightest stars who've gotten a chance to shine their light brighter than anybody else and have built a platform that you've gotten a chance to call your own, to call your home. It's because of the likes of Craven Rage. Yes, Craven Rage, a.k.a. Sinister, who just recently said that he's prepared to go on a run better than he's ever been. But still, Craven Rage, a.k.a. Sinister, is a huge part of history. Sport radio and, in a way, the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit. James Marshall, the measuring stick. Some would even say the measuring stick of the Midwest. How about Mr. Brightside? Definitely, well, is his lights bright or are they just dimmed? Well, I'll get to that. How about the guy that I'm looking at here right now? Shawn Jovi, America's resident rock star. Truly one of the greatest comeback stories in backyard and underground wrestling history. A man that he didn't know what was going to happen. He was a man that was a part of the Global Backyard Wrestling Network. A man that was really almost kind of the misfit. The guy that didn't fit into the old GBYWN. A guy that was in the ICW. And here he is today because of WCE and maybe Sportswire Radio that he's playing his biggest role to date. He's playing a role in many ways because he was the first. He, alongside Craven Rage, coming on to Sportswire Radio. We were then mostly a station covering British independent wrestling and college sports. That they came on here and, as they say in their openings to their shows, WCE, reinventing backyard wrestling. Well, ladies and gentlemen, WCE reinvented Sportswire Radio. They sure did. They sure did, because look at where we are today. And sure, have we talked a lot about WCE and things that WCE has done and hasn't done? But ladies and gentlemen, tonight is a special day because we are celebrating what WCE has done. Look at last year even. It was right around a year ago this time, that historic show between the IMF and WCE, Yards Collide, which absolutely, in many ways, laid the groundwork to where we are today. Riot in the Ring, All Wrestling Matters, Hardcore Tournament, Summer Bash, and everything else in between. The backyard was responsible because of WCE and this Yards Collide, and we think about the war between Darkfire and Craven Rage that everybody's still talking about at Red, White, and Bruised, over 2,000 plus views. We think about Fight or Fright nearly 2 years ago, over 1,000 plus views. How about that emotional Terry Funk tribute everybody's still talking about on YouTube? And how about those that have played on WCE's team? How about the Mecca family? What he meant? How about everybody else that's come through WCE's doors and given us this chance to be here and to be here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, each and every night? It's because of Wrestling Championship Entertainment. They've brought the heat. They've brought the heat to introduce us to some of the biggest stars in the backyard wrestling circuit. It's our guest here who's become, well, a well-known vlogger even. He's become America's cat dad. He's become America's vlogger. And he's become America's resident rock star, America's gold medalist. How about that guy Barnaby Jones who was here last year? Ring a bell if you're in the Wisconsin backyard wrestling circuit. He came here. He was a part of WCE. He was a guy that made history in the Wisconsin backyard wrestling circuit. How about tonight, when we say a few words about the late, great Tim Mecca, and we talk about Black and Blue, and we're going to be bruised after that, I can assure you, but we're going to talk about Black and Blue. We're going to talk about that show ahead. We're going to talk about our guest's future. But tonight, it's almost in many ways a Hall of Fame without a Hall of Fame, because we're giving WCE a special moment. I'm going to explain that in a few minutes. And I also want to wish a very happy birthday to a great man, a man that has certainly given us plenty of fires, plenty of memories here on Sportzwire Radio. One half of the IMF Hardcore Tag Team Champions. That is none other than Mr. Darkfire himself, Shawn Jovi's best friend, his true brother, a man that he has known for close to 20 years, a man that he has gone up and down the road in the Midwest, a man that he has gone up and down the road in the backyard wrestling circuit through every twist and turn. We want to wish Darkfire a very happy birthday. We want to thank him for everything that he's done for us in the backyard wrestling circuit. We want to thank him for everything that he's done in helping us rise to the occasion. We want to thank him in everything that he's done in giving us the opportunities to be here. We hope that he has the best birthday yet. We hope that he has many, many more birthdays ahead. And we hope that, let's just say, he'll have a spirit in the sky. Let's just say, we hope that he'll have a ring of destruction. Let's just say it won't be a fight or fright when he comes back. And let's just say he'll always be going out in a blaze of glory. We want to thank him and wish him a very, very happy birthday, and only hope that the best is yet to come, and also celebrate other stars in WC. And how about Chaz J all of a sudden, who maybe had the best opening match in months and years in WCE? And how about the returning Ray Oos? I mean, Ray Oos is back. Yes, Ray Oos is back, and he looks like he's going to lead WCE back to prominence. And how about the likes of Nicholas Crenson? Can never forget about Nicholas Crenson. Certainly, Nicholas Crenson we love dearly on this platform, and certainly we know that he's out there definitely not working on commentary right now, but he's definitely, I know, watching and taking notes, because, boy, I'll certainly get to that. And how about Mr. Brightside? Huge shout-out to him, and we thank him for all that he's done. But also, before I introduce our guest and, get ready to kick off the celebration, I want to thank our owner of WCE, Liz. Thank you, Liz, for all that you've done for Sportswire Radio. Thank you, Liz, for really, in many ways, reinventing the backyard wrestling circuit. Thank you, Liz, for all that you've done in building a movement without even knowing it, with creating this platform that has led to things like Yards Collide, Summer Bash, the partnership between the IMF and WCE, where you get to see the very biggest WCE stars, maybe the very biggest stars in the Great Lakes of the Midwest, get a chance to be seen live in front of fans. thank you, Liz, for in many ways helping create and start things like the Backyard Havoc, things like the All Wrestling Matters Hardcore Tournament, the Riot in the Ring. Sportswire Radio has become a movement. It's become a juggernaut. And in many ways, it's because of you, Liz. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. I hope that you enjoy tonight's show because this is, in many ways, the crowning achievement for WCE. This is finally where WCE gets its flowers. Have there been bumps in the road? Yes. Has there been moments at times where people have had their issues with WCE? Well, that's up for the public to decide. But I know one thing. WCE on this platform is always going to be celebrated, is always going to be memorialized, and I can't wait to kick off these celebrations, more and more of WCE, and I'm going to do that here now by giving our guest that introduction that he deserves, that celebration, day of an introduction that he deserves. I know maybe or maybe not he'll vlog about this. I know that maybe or maybe Fozzie's in the background waiting for cat food. I know that somewhere in the background, somebody is wondering who's the intergalactic champion and what the heck is JX doing with that title. I know one thing, ladies and gentlemen. He's not holding two belts, but he'll forever be America's gold medalist, and he'll forever be America's future president. Let's give him that introduction that he deserves to kick off the ceremonies here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters. And let's give our guest that introduction that he helped build. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sportswire. Number one, Global Sports Show. One of the cornerstones of WCE. One of the greatest to have ever stepped foot in the Wisconsin backyard wrestling circuit. Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer. The most popular man in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit. As awarded to from Sportswire Radio's yours truly host. A man that is also a part of the foundation. He was once the WC Interstate Champion. Forever, he was the man that built the RCW Underground World Heavyweight Championship. But he is the reigning, defending IMF U.S. Champion. He is simply put, America's resident Rockstar, Shawn! The champ is here!
Oh my God. Man, oh man. Tom, do you want to run for vice president when I run for president in 2028?
Do you want to be my... know about that. I think there's other people in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit that you can certainly work with. I don't know if I'm the guy for that. I don't know if I'll have a voice by then. I did 158 shows in 108 days. So unfortunately, on a campaign trail, take it from me, I have experience in that. You got to do a lot of public speaking. I don't think I'll have a voice by then. So unfortunately, I might be out of the running.
Oh man, I don't have another candidate, man. You were the best fit for the job.
Well, I might have the resources. I might be able to fund the campaign, but that's a different conversation for a different time.
If Omen fires you for any reason, you're running. Not giving you a choice.
We'll have to see about that. I mean, obviously, I would love to be fired, but I don't think I'm getting fired to anything at this point because I think the only way I'm going to get fired is by losing my voice, and that's going to probably happen, I'm sure, at some point too. But it's not about that. It's not about me. It's really today is about WCE and celebrating WC. And I want to present WCE something in a few minutes. This is an emotional day, I think, for a lot of people in WC. I know there's obviously been, a lot of things about WCE in the last several months, but I think WC is finally on the way back. I think there's a lot of momentum right now. The future is looking good for WC for the first time in a long time. But before I do some of those things, how you feeling? How's everything going with you, champ?
Pretty good. I'm very excited to be here tonight. I'm very excited to celebrate WC. And heck, it's 2 days before my wrestling anniversary, so
And
this
you're
is a good
here
time.
Sunday also with an old friend who you were
Yeah.
reinventing and reinvigorating the backyard wrestling circuit once upon a time in the old GBYWN, Remy Ravage. I mean, you and Remy are champions. Who would have guessed that, let's say, a couple of months ago?
Exactly. It's surreal, man. It's
Well, I'm happy
surreal.
about that. I'm very happy that, Remy's going to be here finally Sunday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time on all Sportswire radio platforms. You're going to be here. We're going to get a chance to talk to the two of you about the history and, Summer Bash, you guys wrestling together and tag teaming together and all out warfare. Last week's IMF show. We're going to talk about her winning the XCW International Championship. But I think it's a good time for me to present something to you on behalf of WC because it is true. WCE 2 years ago plus was the first backyard and underground wrestling company to come onto this platform. This platform was really at the time just covering British independent wrestling. I might have did some limited independent wrestling stuff here and there. We've had a couple guys. Franco Varga was here. Steve Wolf. There's been some other guys that have come on from the indie scene. Chris Urban and Fozzie's here, obviously. America's Cat with America's Cat Father. That's how we certainly know we're doing good tonight. But really, because of WCE, Sportswire would never have become what it is today and what it's become for so many people, so many different connections, all the people around the world that have gotten a chance to be able to have networked, made friendships, and had these events that have been historical. Summer Bash, the Riot in the Ring, the All Wrestling Matters hardcore tournament. These are things that have brought people together. And it's a special moment because a lot of people, for whatever reason, seem to be making up imaginary drama. People are on a trampoline, people aren't. The facts are is that there is no drama. There is no anything because, to quote a former president once upon a time, many years ago, the state of wrestling, the state of all wrestling matters, and the state of backyard and underground wrestling is as strong as ever. And the era of toxicity, the era of all the back and forth that he said, she said, it's over. It's over because Sportswire Radio's in town. And I can assure you that this platform has done more than any of those that would say in terms of bringing or not bringing people together. But what I will say is that, enough about me, I'd like to present WCE something that I think will recognize this special moment and get a chance to thank you guys and also thank some of our friends who I know a lot of good friends are here and friends that we would never have gotten a chance to connect with if it wasn't for WCE coming on. Who knows? I would have been talking, I guess, maybe to some British wrestler in some weird dialect and, probably would have been not watching their match, but trying to cover them. But can I present something on the screen after talking for 19 minutes almost uninterrupted?
Wow, that was a long time. But no, please bring it on. Put on whatever you're giving me, man. And WC. Ooh.
Well, congratulations. And this is on behalf of everybody in WCE. Today is WCE Day, and it's an important one because, yes, we've recognized IMF, TBW, we've recognized NEW, so many of our great friends in those companies. We could never not thank them enough. Everything they've done for this platform and just the community and, our friends in ROEW, the same for them. We've recognized them and We think about AWL, Legendary Backyard Wrestling. We think about UWA, all these other companies that have been here on Sportswire Radio. We think about TF Crew. We think about UWF, and it's just a long list of companies. ALW, have to mention ALW, DKW for sure, and another company. I'll maybe leave them out for now because we're trying to celebrate. But this is a special moment, and this is really for everybody in the WCE locker room right now. This is for Chaz J. This is for the returning Ray Oos. This is for Mr. Brightside. This is for Nicholas Crenson. This is for James Marshall. This is for Darkfire. This is for Jonathan Pierce, the man you unfortunately lost to, Mr. Brightside, Even Sinister, a.k.a. Craven Rage, and of course yourself. And just, this is really a way to say thank you. Thank you for everything WC has done for Sportswire Radio, and maybe so for even the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit.
I agree. I mean, WC, but it wasn't just WC, Tom, and you know
Yeah.
that. It was you too. If
But
you didn't
WC came here first, and
well,
I
right.
know
We are the
wouldn't have got a chance.
forefathers.
Yes, and we wouldn't
But
have got a chance to speak with all these great people. I can't say enough good things about every company that comes here religiously. IMF, NEW, XCW, and TBW, and Resurrection Wrestling, and UWA, YBW, ROEW, DKW, ALW, maybe even STBW, DBW. DBW's back on Sportswire. LBYW, FBW, SGW. I mean, it's a long list. Wrestling Zero, BWDU, all these great companies, all these great people. UWF, Pro Wrestling Venom. I mean, we can keep going down the list of companies. WTW now, WCW through proxies. And it's just a long list of, people that have been here in many ways. And it's because of really you guys. And I think that's just why we wanted to celebrate. The time is right. WC seems to be on the rise. We're rising to the occasion. We're back. And I hope that you could give this to WC and to the locker room.
Absolutely. When WC first started, I'm one of the founding fathers, of course. I was the one who invented the tagline of reinventing backyard wrestling or reigniting. I don't remember which one it is, but the thing is, when I built that phrase, I meant it. Because at that time, I didn't know if there was any backyard feds left. Last time I checked in 2012, there weren't any. But it's a new era. And I'm glad we brought this community together, Tom. I'm glad everything's working out the way it is, because this is the second coming of a big thing in the backyard community. And I think through Sportswire Radio and WC given the opportunity to be on your platform, none of this would be happening right now. And I am just ecstatic about being here. I'm ecstatic that we got this award and being recognized as the founding father of Sportswire Radio's backyard wrestling coverage. I'm grateful. I'm beyond grateful. I didn't think I was going to be doing something like this, let alone bring back the GBYWN in a newer and pure form.
Well, this is in a lot of ways. Next few days is to celebrate that. You and Remy are here Sunday, and I want to make that Rad Dad is here next Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. And Rad Dad is going in. He's going into the Hall of Fame actually that day.
That excites me. I'm going to be there.
He's, and that's an emotional day. Rad has been talking about this. He's wanted to be here for a while. He's personally requested that day. So for him to be here, we know how much of a busy man he is with GTS and everything else he's doing. But for him to want to be here, it's going to be a special moment for sure to have Rad Dad here. You and Remy are here, so that's going to be an emotional day. I know for a lot of people, Remy's had an amazing journey. It's a journey really of a lot of personal testament, a lot of courage, if you don't mind me saying that. And for Remy and her to, come back the way she has and to win the XCW International Championship, that's a lot, I think, that she should very much be proud of, and we're going to celebrate that for sure. And you're going to be there because your relationship really speaks volumes. But we are going to get to current events in a minute. But obviously, we wanted to just again celebrate WCE, and I can't thank enough WCE for everything. Because again, we've gotten a chance to speak with so many great companies. I can't thank all of them enough. I know, again, people are talking about different things, but to me, I don't think there's any drama in the backyard wrestling circuit because I think everybody comes on here. Like Aaron Blaze said it best. This is the one place, the only place that everybody gets a chance to come to where in some form we're together, whether we want to be or not. This is the only one. There's
Yep.
nobody like this. There's no other place. And Ledger Shade came here. He could have chose to have gone anywhere else. He came to Sportswire. Osiris came here twice. Rad Dad was here. Jimmy Controversy's been here 4 times. Whatever you like or think about him, Austin G was here. I mean, Jack Delta was just here, and he had one of the best interviews I think he's ever done in his career. I mean, and he drew a lot of people here. We've had some really, important people, and it's because of WCE. Look at the IMF situation. You guys connecting with them. That was
Yep.
born on this platform. You look at everything. Look at Justin Parsley, right? He's in the chat, and Justin Parsley is a 4-time Hall of Famer. He's the PWF champion, and he came here a year ago, and he was just a guy who made a comeback. He was successful, but now he's a going up against Jack Delta. I mean, you look at what, again, so many people are doing. Look at what I think NEW. I'm so happy a company like that is getting the flowers that they deserve because, people were saying that they only would never get 500 subscribers or whatever the numbers were, but they got 2,000 plus subscribers and they just had Jimmy Controversy show up in their company. You look at the TBW effect. TBW's in the Hall of Fame, and I want to make the announcement here again for the audience. ROEW, when they hit 1,000 subscribers, joins the Hall of Fame. And I want to also say 2 more things about 2 Midwestern companies that are also marching to 1,000 subscribers. And I'm going to certainly sweeten the pot a little bit on Sportswire Radio. DKW, that company that hosted Summer Bash, that's hosting the Backyard Havoc coming up here November 9th to 10th. When they hit 1,000 subscribers, they're going in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. Your brethren, Shawn Jovi, but I'm not even done. WCE, when they get to 1,000 subscribers, WCE is going in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. So we got some work to cut out for us, but I have a feeling WCE is going to get to that 1,000, and WCE is going to go into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. And we know TBW's there, but we know ROEW's about to join, DKW's about to join, and we also know that WC ain't too far around the corner. So those are some announcements, and congratulations there. I'm going to take this off the screen for now because there's some stuff I want to talk about with you, Shawn Jovi. There's a lot of people in the chat. I'm going to do it. But, let's talk about current events, though, because, Shawn Jovi, I know we celebrated a lot for the first 25 minutes or so, but, I guess it's now we have to figure out you're a little black and blue right now because apparently your opponent at Rise to the Occasion, Jonathan Pierce, well, everything was on the line for him, and he found a way to rise to the occasion. You had a few things to say about it today on the WCE YouTube page, but I guess to start things off, for those that are listening and watching here, in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, Sportswire Radio, Shawn Jovi, I mean, where do you go from here, and how do you rise to the occasion? Because you're right now a little black and blue.
Tom, I feel half naked missing a belt on my other shoulder. I really do. It was hard. It was a hard loss. I'll say it. I'm man enough to admit it. Jonathan Pierce was the better man that night. And after holding that belt for pretty much a year, if we don't count the Craven Rage shenanigans, I held that belt for a year. I won at Rise the Occasion the previous year against James Marshall.
Yep.
And since then, it's just been up and up and up and up. And even though I took a little bump in the road, I lost my interstate title. That doesn't mean it's the end. So the future for Shawn Jovi, we'll soon find out. But if you don't mind, I want to get on the black and blue topic while we're
I absolutely would love to talk black and blue.
Yes. Yep, that show is coming up soon. It is to honor our fallen friend, Tim Mecca, who was a big influencer in WCE's early days, and he was the pre-successor to me. He was in the yard before I was. He taught people like Nicholas Crenson and James Marshall to the craft that they have today. I even learned a little bit from Tim. I didn't know him much. I didn't know him for a very long time like those guys did. But I know the role he played in our community is one for the ages. And that is why Black and Blue's show is dedicated to him. So we have 4 matches.
Correct.
4 matches planned. Me and Reyes. Reyes coming off a fresh loss. I'm coming off a fresh loss.
He was the opening match. You were the main event. How about the irony of all that, right? The irony.
Yeah, and honestly, I give Reyes all the credit in the world. He had his best match against Chaz. Like, his best match he's ever had. And
it was one of the best opening matches. I said WC has put on in a long time. That harkens back to the days when WCE was right there with TBW in the backyard wrestling circuit. It wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't. And I'm glad there's some fire, especially under the younger talent that doesn't have all the experience in the world. A Reyes stepping up like that, I'm impressed. So we'll see what happens when I go in the ring with him. I don't plan on losing. I have a chip on my shoulder. I have one less belt on my shoulder, but that ain't going to stop me from kicking his little ass all over the place, you know?
But he's going to have a lot to prove because Reyes is an interesting individual. He's been here before. He's back in the company. He's shown at times flashes. He's shown that he has the potential to put it together, but
yeah,
at times he's kind of an enigma. He's kind of, in a way, the guy that more or less in WC is just, it's either he's going to get it or he's not going to get it, and he's going to look to have his own moment and continue to make you Black and Blue.
Hey, he can chase the dream of defeating Shawn Jovi all he wants. It's never going to happen. As much as I like Reyes as a competitor, he has a long ways to go to catch up to America's resident rock star. But we'll see. I mean, Black and Blue, it's the young guy might get it. You never know, but I highly doubt it because I'm on a mission. I lost my title, and that just motivates me, and it makes me hungrier. Hell, maybe by the end of the year, I will try for the All Out title. I haven't won it yet. That might be what's next. You never know what's next.
But are you concerned, though, that a guy like him, a younger talent who has shown at times he has the ability, is going to look to make you an example, and you could maybe get upset and picked off because this year has been an amazing year. It's really the year that you should have had 10 plus years ago. This is the year you put it all together. And now you're kind of coming off where you don't have that momentum anymore. And he's going to look to take away from you, and you could get picked off here in a major upset.
Yeah, I mean, and if he were to pick me off, I mean, that would be a big momentum killer for me. And it's not just because he's a young competitor and stuff, but he's just, I don't think he is ready to face somebody like me. I've put a lot of effort in this past year. I've done a lot of work. Reyes, he's getting his feet wet now. He's just now getting his feet wet in WC. And by taking me on, just because I don't have the title doesn't mean I'm not the biggest fish in the pond, you know?
Well, he could still, though, no question, in what we're seeing here in the ring. I mean, he might be coming off his best match in WC to date. But that's another thing to keep in mind. That could be, you might be looking at the best he's coming off, and that may give him momentum, even though what Chaz J did to him after the match, he's still coming off maybe his best match in WCE.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Reyes came up short, and that's okay because he's got a lot of learning to do, and I'm proud of him for what he's done so far. I watched the match. I was there. There was some times I wanted to mark out for some of those moves in the match. They put on a show that I would have never thought I'd see once upon a time not so long ago.
Yeah, I mean, these guys were out of the company. I mean, I didn't even hear a thing about Chaz J. And, Ray Uso obviously was wrestling somewhere else in another promotion. And it really wasn't seen that these guys were going to be back here. But yet here we are. And Ray Uso has got maybe a make or break moment in his career. And you're again coming off a loss to a man that he put everything toward you. So there's no question that Ray Uso could do the same thing to what Jonathan the Executioner Pierce had done to you just days ago at Rise to the Occasion, the third anniversary show.
I mean, anything's possible in the world of wrestling and life itself. I mean, it's like a famous backyard wrestler once said, "Never say never, kid." And that, I think we all know who I'm referencing, but it's 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 literally true. You can never say never to any situation. I didn't think Chaz Day and Ray Uso would come back. I didn't think I was going to see him after last
And
year.
not only come back, I mean, this is
With a
this
vengeance,
might
they
have been the
came
best match
back.
of the show. This might have been the best match of the show. And, hopefully we fix that commentary toward the end of the show for sure. I mean,
Oh
hopefully
God.
whoever that commentator is, they make sure that they do their job next time. But obviously, I mean, there's no question that this was definitely a match that I think was a pleasant surprise. And the point is that Ray Uso, I mean, he could certainly pick you off. And that's why I'm really excited about Black and Blue here. And I'm excited to see what Ray Uso brings to the table because he's showing now that this could be his moment. He finally puts it all together. And we'll have to find out at your expense. And just with him as a wrestler, you don't face somebody like him often. So
No.
how are you going to prepare for this match differently versus with Pierce? I mean, we knew the history with you and Pierce. We
Yeah.
knew everything you went through with that. That was a war. You've been in wars in the IMF with Isaiah Rage. We talked about Remy Ravage. We know the history there. You've been feuding with the, Diamonds in the Rough, all that stuff that's been going on there. But Ray Uso is a different kind of wrestler that you're used to facing of late. How are you going to go prepare for him at Black and Blue?
It is different. I'm used to facing bigger guys like Jonathan Pierce, like when I faced Soldier GP at Yards Collide. Heck, even King BW once upon a time in ICW. I'm used to facing guys my size and up. But when it comes to the small guys, the guys who can fly, the guys who have the speed, it's a different ball game from the guys that are bigger because they have a completely different tactic, a completely different outlook, and a completely different and I'm trying to think of the word, but they have a different kind of motivation than like the big guys do.
I think he's got a lot of motivation regardless because he's looking to make a name for himself. He was lumped in with some guys that it's well documented that they obviously, in terms of how they represent and conduct themselves in the backyard wrestling circuit, they obviously were seen as almost a blight, almost an ugly stain on the backyard wrestling circuit. So he's looking to show that, you know what? Hey, I'm here and now I'm ready to go. I've learned from that experience. I've learned, sure, I'm there. I'm wrestling with those guys, but that's not me. I'm here and I can go. It doesn't matter. I just want to go out there and wrestle. And, he's looking to, I think, show and prove people that he can go beat you. And what better way to do that and show everybody that he's a guy that can finally break out from this enigma guy that, again, has been maybe unfairly typecasted with some of the other individuals he may wrestle with in another promotion. I think that it could very well be at your expense.
Hey, again, never say never. But you did bring across a very interesting point, Tom, when you said he was once in a different group, which we won't talk about.
Yep.
But the fact he came from somewhere that made him undesirable and not really overlooked and all these things like that. You got to remember, Tom, once upon a time, that was me too. Like, I started on a trampoline. I wasn't very good. I got picked on the GBYWN circuit. I was overlooked. But then what happened in 2021? I helped start WC. I came back with an intention. I'm just going to do this for fun. I don't want to go anywhere with it. Well, let's fast forward 3 years later. Look where I'm at now. I'm on Sportswire Radio, primetime, the brightest lights, as you always say.
Even Jack
But
Delta said, there's something about that phrase. He actually said there's something when I hear that phrase, everything seems all right in the world. So
it does. It really does.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, obviously, that's why we're excited, but I'd like people to follow WC. So if you like what you see, I'm going to take this off the screen for a second because I really want to show that YouTube link. So, first of all, if
Yeah.
you are here right now, WCE, 624 subscribers. I want tonight, if you're out there, I want you to go hit that sub button. I want you to go follow WCE. Go like him on Facebook. I want you also to support Shawn Jovi. He's got some links. Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, WCHeat.com. I see there's a big turnout here right now. I see a lot of people on YouTube. I want you, if you have not yet followed WC, or even if you have followed WC, go out there and support those that support us. We are very excited because today is WCE Day on all Sportswire radio platforms, and somebody, for whatever reason, said it had two 2024s, but it actually doesn't. So I don't know why somebody said that.
It has. We're in 2224. You have 2 twos in there.
I see one. I see one on my screen. I don't know why I see one.
Oh no, I see 2022 with a 4 at the end.
Yeah,
either way. Either way.
20, but that's what I see on the screen, 2024. I don't see it. I don't see what everybody's saying.
I don't know. On my end, there's a typo. Either way,
I'll fix it.
Yeah, we'll fix it one way or another. No worries.
Off the air, you'll get it fixed. I don't know why on the air it's showing me 1 2. It's not showing 2 2s, but that's okay. In the meantime, I want you to follow WCE. I'm going to talk about a little more of the card shortly coming up, black and blue. It's a tribute to Tim Mecca, and of course, Tim Mecca, the late, great Tim Mecca, a founding father of the Wisconsin backyard wrestling circuit, certainly molded the careers like the legendary Shawn Jovi, the legendary Nicholas Crenton, the legendary James Marshall, and in many ways helped give the foundation, the seeds to WCE and what it is today. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, where all wrestling matters. And I hope that you support our friends here much, much more and on Sportswire Radio. Okay, so let me get to some comments here because for whatever reason, my phone is not working. So we're going to take that off the screen. Yeah, that's okay. We'll fix that. I want to say hello to Mr. Justin Parsley, who liked the encore. Thank you, Mr. Parsley, for the encore there. We appreciate the kind words. Evening, gentlemen. I'm here to celebrate WCE and Dark Kron. And Dark Kron is the newest member of the ROEW roster. He's also had his own problems with young guys, these young upstart whippersnappers. This guy, Judas, the evil angel, and he and Judas went at it. They had blows in all legendary wrestling's company there. And, kind of the coincidence there. What an ironic coincidence there. Your friend Darkron, your good buddy Darkron's in the house. Omen Black, for whatever reason, says Shawn Jovi. I don't know what that is for. I'm not going
to... inside joke.
Okay.
Inside joke. He loves me. That's all I need to know.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, if you are out there, I wouldn't tell people what to do and not to do, but yes, use a condom. You'll certainly be your life saved.
It's an Always Sunny in Philadelphia reference.
Okay, I didn't know that because I'm a New Yorker, but it's never sunny in New York.
Fair.
It's never sunny in New York. It's always dark. It's dark hell and it's full of heat. Never going to be fired. We'll see about that. Hello to my good friend Tommy Merriman. Tommy had a great match, obviously, at SummerMania. Very excited about our friends in XTW. And I have Remy here coming up Sunday, and Justin Parsley's here. But he's always here, so he'll be here on Monday. Want to say hello to our friends in NEW. And, real quick, if you don't mind, just on a second, I noticed that Jake Dvorak and Justin Parsley were going at it on Instagram. I thought that was rather interesting. There was some interesting back and forth between those two individuals. So that was very interesting. Yeah, it was interesting. I don't know if Justin Parsley and Jake Dvorak knew each other. I don't know if there was some... I don't know what it was, but...
I'd pay to see that match, though.
Jake Dvorak's a different individual than what Justin Parsley's used to, though. I mean, Jake Dvorak just wrestled in the Underground Wrestling Federation, and I saw what he did to D'Angelo the Flame and the Riot in the Ring. I've seen what he did, and NEW, he's their underground, he's their world champion. And I don't know Justin Parsley's the PWF champion. It could be a battle of the Northeast and the Midwest. Who really knows? But I want to say hello to my very good friend, Mr. Andre Anamali, who is, of course, a part of things in future Atlanta Pro Wrestling. He's got his own match coming up with Del Bourne. He's also got a War of Words with Vegas Storm, of course, a protege of Copper Dragon. And obviously, also, Mr. Anamali's got some new music out there, and he's very happy to be here, and I'm very happy to see him. Wrestling just needs to be fun. Couldn't agree more. Wrestling definitely should be fun. It's always about all wrestling matters, and we are very excited about everything on this platform. So I look forward to all of that here. So great stuff. And let's come back to some more comments. Thank you. Thank you for giving us the opportunity on Sportswire Radio. I definitely appreciate all of that. These guys, I mean, I guess I'll leave them out for a little bit, but I'll just, give them a nod here and says, oh, look, it's the champ, Shawn Jovi. I see Crenson is in here too.
America's champ. Remember that.
These guys are small potatoes, I guess. These are small towners. They said a lot. They had a lot to say, but today's a celebration. Today is celebrating WC and their amazing history and what they've meant to the backyard wrestling circuit. And they had 2 comments here. I want to say hello here. I don't know who that is, but I just say hit the sub button for us. Hit the sub button for us on YouTube, Dr. 3am261. It looks like somebody, but if you're here, thank you for tuning in, and hit the sub button for WCE, hit the sub button for Sportswire Radio, and I hope you're enjoying the show. We're live, Justin Parsley. We're always live. There's no replays. It's live. Thank you, Nicholas, for clarifying that. Will all the WCE guys be on tonight? Well, you'll have to find out. Thanks for setting the bar and starting the trend of this platform. Obviously, Justin Parsley, a man that you really actually don't get along with. You despise him, really, because we know what's going on with your foundation brethren. And God. Certainly what's going on.
Parsley doesn't stand a chance. Soldier's going to whoop his ass every time.
Parsley's got, listen, Justin Parsley's so fascinating to me because he's been going after everybody right now. He's got problems with Jack Delta, Jake Dvorak, I see on Instagram now. He's got Soldier for months. I mean, I tell you what, Justin Parsley, he is truly the ultimate outsider. I'll tell you that much. Jack Delta calls himself the outsider, but Justin Parsley is the one that I'm just saying.
I mean, he's got his hand in a lot of cookie jars, man.
I tell you what.
I don't know if he can handle it.
Well, we're going to find out. That's for sure. WCE Day, or should it be STBW Day? These young guys seem to be having something to say, but I'll leave them with that because today's a celebration. Today is to celebrate. We're not playing the games that you've seen on social media recently, so we'll definitely move on here. Well, STBW is here a little. Well, let's certainly move on with that comment. I'm not going to repeat that on the air. How about the old guy? We are the young guys. We have lots of time left. We seem to be giving 2 messages at once. Give me one. I can read off one. Let's get it 1,000 subs. Yes, I want WC and I want DKW to get to 1,000 subs. I couldn't agree more. My friend Woo Ryder from Northeast Florida, we're doing great. We're celebrating WC's history, and Adonis Velios is in the house, maybe then, now, and forever a WC employee, says Evening Tom and Rockstar in America. Adonis Velios, who is obviously a colleague of yours for so many years in WCE, and thank you for tuning in. And I don't know what the Joker... is that maybe... Who's the Joker reference to? Is it Mr. Brightside, or... I don't know who...
I have no idea who he is.
Well, let's move on here.
Cool picture, though.
Jovi's first reign was 176 days, and his second was 119 days, for a total combined of 295 days as interstate champion, which is the current record. So 176 was the record, right? So 119 was the second run. So, yeah, he's got the record. Thank you. That's a good point. I appreciate that. Jovi versus Oos will steal the show, a major hot banger. It's a major banger. Yeah, I agree with that. Yes, Pierce is definitely a different animal, but Ray Oos is also a different animal than what Shawn Jovi has faced, and that's why it's a very fascinating match, and I'm happy we're talking about it. Thank you. Good points, Nicholas. The commentary, 4 up, 4 down. Tim Mecca gave us the keys to WC. Couldn't agree with you. WCE continues to reignite backyard wrestling. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Hello to my friend Jacob Frost, by the way. Jacob Frost, who's got some interest, I know, in IMF, and he had a lot of interest. I mean, I'd love to see Jacob Frost in IMF. Whoever is in charge of IMF, get this guy. I'm telling you, Get this guy and sign him to IMF and sign him to like a 10-year contract. I'm telling you, I know Jacob Frost. I watch him. People want to say trampoline this, trampoline that. Watch this guy on a trampoline, and he can do just about anything that anybody else can do anywhere. Just saying. Just saying. My area is experiencing a heavy thunderstorm. I'm very sorry to hear that. I hope you're okay. I hope it's not a thunderstorm from what happened last night on the show. Be safe. Yes, please be safe. Want to say hello to our friend, Mr. Joshua Allen. I hear from a birdie that a nemesis of his, not James Taylor, but a rather guy that's initials are AT, is coming back to Sportswire Radio in a week or so. And I'm sure Mr. Allen might know who that is, but he'll be happier to know tomorrow Alan Michaels, the trendsetter, is back on Sportswire Radio Live. Evening Tom and the resident Rockstar Shawn Jovi. And if I could go out of character and say happy birthday to Michael Jackson, 66. That's a 66, the irony. And happy birthday to the King of Pop. Yep, definitely. Definitely. Joshua Allen, I hope you don't beat it. I hope you definitely stay bad in what you did in the Resurrection Wrestling's Rumble there at last month's show. And I hope that you continue to be the king of backyard wrestling for TBW. And I hope that you've definitely have your Billie Jean. And definitely, I hope that you continue to always look at being in the man in the mirror of being the man that runs the best backyard wrestling company around. So there you have it. Like how I put the Michael Jackson things all into a once. And, that was definitely not off the wall, by the way. It was definitely not off the wall. That was definitely not blood on the dance floor. That was definitely not dangerous. I think that was pretty much, I could have screamed earlier on, but I did that with my own intro. So just working in all the references there. Definitely, but we need a Dirty Diana onto the platform. That's a different conversation. That was a funny one. Hello, happy birthday to Bronson Reed and Great Khali. Yes, Great Khali. Oh, it's Doc Holliday.
And Darkfire.
And I got
Doc Holliday.
The legendary Doc Holliday. He is the Riot in the Ring winner. He has also been on GTS, TF Crew. He is a legend in the hardcore underground wrestling scene in the Northeast.
I've heard the name. He's
been around a long time, and I'm sure he'll be very happy to see that Mr. Gabe Sayers is back onto Sportswire Radio here next Thursday in your chair. So I'm sure it'll be no tough shoes to fill for Mr. Sayers. He'll have a lot of work to cut out for him. A lot of comments. Let me get to them. How you all doing, Ooses? And thanks for the foundation shirt, Jovi. The High Chief appreciates it. The Samoan Dragon. There we have the Samoan Dragon. Thank you. We love Il Drago. Love Il Drago. And yes, Psycho Sid. Very sad about Psycho Sid. That was a tough one on Monday. Yes, that was a very sad one. And you might sub. Well, you should sub to WC. I've kept the link up here. So, yeah, sub to me, sub to WCE. And I want to say hello to our friends in BCW. BCW has been a big topic here on Sportswire Radio because I may very well bring in one of their guys who's their champion, Mr. Maxwell Reeves, on here very soon. I don't know if it's going to be tonight. It might be tonight, depending on time. But Maxwell Reeves has been a huge topic right now in the backyard wrestling circuit, a young up-and-comer. And he's killing it. And I hope to see him, if not tonight, definitely in the next day or two. So stay tuned for that. And also, please follow our friends in BCW. Yes, we love BCW. BCYW's been here with Dalton Skull, a man that who knows if he'll meet you. And software is lagging. All good. Yeah, Instagram has been interesting, but I do want to say that with this platform, we give everybody an opportunity. We're all Wrestling Matters, and I support everybody. And I think this is the one platform where, as Aaron Blaze says, this is the only platform we all kind of get a chance to be together. And whether we want to be or not, we're here. And I think that everybody's welcome. Yes, Power Rangers Day. Thank you for that. Okay, so let me take some of this off.
Hi, Zilla.
Thank you, Zilla, for tuning in. So you came up short against Jonathan the Pierce, who's the executioner. Jonathan Pierce is now executed to take away that WC Interstate Championship from you. You're not so mad about it. You want to move forward. But, I mean, you're not bitter about losing the Interstate title to Jonathan Pierce?
I'm grateful for the run I had, Tom. And, yeah, it stings. It hurts. It's disappointing I didn't defeat Pierce. I'll happily admit that. But I can't just have my head down. I gotta keep trucking forward, Tom. I got bigger things to do now. I haven't won the all-out title yet. I'd like to do that at some point.
But that title, wait a minute. But that title is held by Sinister, and Sinister declared that he's about to be on the best run he's ever had. And I mean, he just defeated Crenson and Marshall. I mean, do you really think that we're going to see somebody else take that title away from Sinister? Because it seems like it's 2022 again. It's
I
2022 all
mean,
over again.
I've taken
WC's back on top.
I've
Sinister's back on
taken
top.
I've taken 2 titles from Craven Rage. I'm not afraid to take a third.
Are we referring
But
to him as Sinister or Craven Rage?
Sinister Rage, I can't. It's a who's who, Tom. But that's not the point. I could go for the all out. I could just keep going the way I'm going and just take it one day at a time and wrestle whoever wants to step up. Just because I don't have an interstate title doesn't mean I can't do an open challenge, you know?
But what do you think about Marshall, for example, who is obviously going to be wrestling somebody else, right? I mean, what's going to happen at Black and Blue? You know, you talked about your match, but what else do you think we can expect for our audience in tuning into WC's upcoming show? Is there anything else that we can expect to see?
Oh yeah, we have 3 more matches to discuss, Tom. Like I said, we have 4. I told you there's 4. We only talked about 1 so far.
Well, that's why I was
talking.
kind of leading to it. Yep.
Yeah, and I don't want to just talk about myself all night. Hell no. We're here to talk about WCE. So let me tell you what's next. You speak of Tim Mecca, the legendary Tim Mecca. There is a match in that card that will resemble and represent his legacy, and that is Nicholas Crenson and James Marshall facing off. Now, I know it's the same song and dance they faced many times, but this is different. You see, like I told you, Tim put Marshall and Crenson under his wing once upon a time. Hell, I wish I could be under his wing. I wish I could have learned from the great Tim Mecca. But those two, they benefited the most from Tim. And that's why I'm excited for the tribute match. It's the match to tribute the great Tim Mecca.
And it's a history, like you said, Marshall and Crenson is, I mean, they've been going at it for 2+ years, really, on and off.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, you could arguably say that that's probably been the feud that's probably going on the longest in WCE history, right?
I mean, aside from me and Sinister Rage, yeah.
But that's been consistent every year. There's always something between those. You and Sinister have had your breaks. Right. Marshall and Crenson, I mean, we know famously the 30-minute match they had. Yeah. We remember what happened there. We've seen just the back and forth that those two have had over the years. Really seems to be the feud that's consistent in that. But Marshall's the measuring stick, and something tells me that Marshall is going to want a huge victory here and put Crenson more black and blue than what he went through in this match, or maybe even what he goes through in Iowa.
Right. Like, the thing with Nicholas Crenson, he's, as far as my knowledge goes, he has not defeated James yet. To my knowledge, my memory is a little fuzzy, but I'm pretty sure that's a fact.
He hasn't beat him. He's pinned him, but he hasn't beat him in a match. We talked about the 30-minute match, but yes, where the actual overall winner, Marshall's been basically on top.
Right. I mean, and they're both coming off a fresh loss in that triple threat match.
Correct.
They have a lot to prove. They got to prove who's the better man. But ultimately, this rivalry isn't so much a rivalry as it is they're paying tribute to Tim in this case. I feel like these two are putting their differences aside in order to put on the best banger WC can hold in the name of Tim Mecca.
It's going to be an emotional one there because
it is. It really is.
The history there between those two, we know what Tim Mecca means to them. And Crenson, in some ways, his best matches have always been with Marshall, but Marshall,
I agree,
is truly Crenson's kryptonite.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how one person can be the kryptonite for something like that. And hey, I mean, my kryptonite was Craven Rage once upon a time, and I took care of that.
Oh, you definitely did, and you did that in obviously a huge way to start the season. So I
Mhm.
expect that to be another classic. And we see here Sinister, Craven Rage back on top. It does seem like we're partying like it's 2022 in WCE because Craven Rage is back. He's on top. I mean, he's ready for another. This could be a 3-4 year title run. And that kind of
God, I
leads me
hope
into
not.
his next. Well, God, if Chaz J has something to do with it, who's a totally different animal here. I mean, he was once upon a time the breaking news. It was breaking news, and he was the guy that was the Craven Rage apologist. I mean, you want to talk about guys
Oh
that were
yeah.
lackeys. I mean, he was basically the Disco Inferno to Scott Hall and Kevin Nash in the NWO, and
Oh my
now
God.
he's a totally different person. He's a different guy, and he seems like he's sincere about the fact that not only does he want to change Reyes, but he also wants to take away the WC All Out Championship from Sinister, a man that, again, he worshipped and was a lackey for. And this is a rather fascinating match. And we know that these guys had history. And to his credit, Chaz J, I mean, he took Craven Rage at the time. He took him to the very last minute and almost he nearly had him.
Yeah, that is true. And honestly, since Chaz came back and ditched the whole Prince Charles thing, came back repackaged better than ever, I've been very impressed with his work. This promo right here, I enjoyed it.
It was good. I tell you what, he has been like, this
He's
is what
got the
he should have been.
spark.
Yeah, this
He's
is like,
reigniting it. Like,
and this is why WCE is back. I mean, this is why, like, I'm excited about WCE again for the first time, maybe since Yards Collide, really. And we see a guy like this who's got something to prove. He would love to take Sinister off his game. And boy, what an upset that would be. Sinister, who's supposed to have, again, he wants another 2-3 year run as champion, but Chaz J comes in here and he claims to be a victim of society, and what better way to show everybody that he's going to make sure that Sinister's the real victim of a society and takes away that WC All Out Championship from him.
and hey, with the role Chaz has been on, I wouldn't be surprised if he got the upset. But like I said, easier said than done. Sinister is a different kind of human being. Take it from the guy who's faced him multiple times. Sinister is something not many people have seen in the ring. He's different. He's diabolic. He's a cheat art. He's a not cheat artist. What's the word? Con artist. Yeah, kind of a con artist. He low blows people. He does the same
no,
stuff.
I'll tell you what it is. In title matches, Sinister, he's just on another level in terms of the fact he finds ways to win, whether you like it or not.
Oh yeah, he's the big match Craven. Like it's like
That's
big
it.
match. It's like when they referred to John Cena in WWE as like big match John. Craven
Yeah,
Rage,
and John
he does
Cena
some of
without
the
the big
biggest
matches,
matches.
100%. And John Cena not in a big match. I mean, the track record is not as good, but when it comes to Sinister, absolutely very similar. Sinister in big matches, I mean,
He's a
just,
big game player in those. I'll admit it.
and he's in many ways similar to, there was a basketball player named Robert Horry. They used to call him Big Shot Bob. You looked at him in his career, yeah, I mean, he was an okay player. He had a long career. I mean, he was probably a role player at best, a starter maybe on a team early in his career, but in the postseason, totally different animal. And Sinister in title matches, especially with the All Out title on the line, there's nobody that's been able to figure that out most of the time. And Chaz J is going to have to he's going to have to climb a tall mountain here in order to claim that championship. But with his mindset and where he lives right now after what he did to Reyes, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to find out, I suppose.
Chaz, like I said, something lit a fire on his ass last season to where he is now back and new and improved and better than ever. Personally, I think it's when Soldier was criticizing his kendo stick shots in whatever match he was in at the time. But I think it's that kind of stuff that makes people want to get better at their craft. And yeah, Chaz was gone the majority of the season. He's just now back. But he came back with a freaking vengeance, man.
I think that's what's impressed me. And credit to Chaz J, credit to Ray Oos, that they've come back and they've shown efforts to step up. They've
Right.
shown that they want to be here. They've shown that they're willing to put the work in. And I think that that's why they're given these major responsibilities. You know, you've got your match with Ray Oos. We spoke about that. We've got Chaz J going up with Sinister. There's some history there. We know that those two squared off last year for the All Out title. We
All
know
right.
right now that these guys are young talents that maybe they're showing that what was said yesterday and what's been said across the backyard circuit. I think it's a total misnomer, but we'll have to find out for sure. But that leads me to one more match that I want to talk about here when it comes to Black and Blue, and that might be the match of the night. And I'm curious what you think on this one because it's Mr. Brightside and Jonathan Pierce, the executioner, who took that championship that you held so proudly for 119 days, this most recent run, if I'm not mistaken, with the Interstate Championship. And he certainly executed you from that. And Mr. Brightside, who a guy that's been the All Out champion 2 times, if I'm not mistaken, and he's a guy right now that he's got a lot to prove. He just defeated your best friend, Darkfire.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Pierce, who could very well be vulnerable because who knows what he is as champion. He put
Right.
so much in to take that title from you, a championship he coveted all throughout his time in WC. Now that he's back, and when he was in WC once upon a time, and I just think this might be one of those match of the year candidates because really it's almost like you're getting a Super Bowl matchup in a regular season game. I just think it's just what these two could do and really what's going to happen. What's your take on what's to come between Mr. Brightside and Jonathan Pierce, the executioner, for that Interstate Championship?
One thing I'll say about Jonathan Pierce, he's brutal, man. He's powerful. He's got the strength. He suplexed me like it was nothing. I am a 300 plus pound man. If someone can suplex me that's lighter than me, the way he did, he's got a lot of power. Let's say it.
Put it
And
right
so
here on the
he
screen
has
for
the
the
power
audience.
game. Yeah, he has the power game. Completely powerful. He's a powerful engine, but there's also Mr. Brightside, an unorthodox being formerly known as Kodak Kid. Now, once upon a time, predating WC by a couple months, I had a tiny run-in with Kodak Kid, now known as Mr. Brightside. So him and I have history. And I know Mr. Brightside. Maybe not so much him now as I did back then, but he's small, he's agile, he's fast, he's got the speed factor for sure. I mean, it's speed versus power. It's a matter of who gets there first. It really is.
Do you think that there's a potential of vulnerability with Pierce? Because, okay, in the Chaz J Sinister match, people are going to discredit Chaz J no matter what because
He is
he
the
hasn't.
underdog.
Yeah, but in this one, I don't think that Mr. Brightside at all is an underdog. Mr. Brightside has been the world champion, the All Out champion twice. He's a guy that he is not afraid to step up to a guy like Jonathan Pierce. He's been in big matches. He's won them recently. He's won
Oh yeah.
big match after big match. And he was the guy that ended Craven Rage's run last year and to end the season. And I mean, something tells me here that I think this is as pure a toss-up match as you're gonna get.
Yeah, and I will say it, when Kodak Kid returned and defeated Craven Rage, that was a historic moment in our company.
It was a big
And
moment.
it'll live in the record books forever, without a shadow of a doubt. But Mr. Brightside, he's a little bit different than Kodak. He's out there. He's like literally out
You
there.
saw it
Far out
firsthand.
now.
He
There's
came back. I said it to you the last few times you've been on. He has basically come back at your expense. He has basically attempted to basically reinvigorate, reignite his career at your expense, and he sort of rose to the occasion, executed your championship run, and left you Black and Blue. And I mean, we've seen what he's done with this sort of alliance with Craven Rage. We saw what he's done to James Marshall. He's beaten
Mhm.
Crenson, pinned him. I mean, Pierce right now, I mean, he might be pound for pound the strongest guy in WCE. So, I
No
mean, this
doubt.
is such a fascinating match because, again, Brightside's track record speaks for itself. When you've got
Mhm.
Pierce, who just is pound for pound, like you said, he's got the size and he's got the strength. And it's a pure toss up, I really think, based on looking at where these two are right now.
Yeah. And let's be honest, based on how Jonathan Pierce beat me, it took him the spear is one of his finishing moves, right?
Yep.
How many did it take to beat me? It wasn't one.
No.
It wasn't two. It was 3 spears to hold me down for a 3 count. And even then, I got up pretty fast. Like I didn't wasn't down for long, but I got up and I was a man about it. I took that title. People thought I was going to be a poor sport because that thing was my baby. It was my big, beautiful championship. I
It was
I held
something
that
we
thing with honor and love and pride all around, no doubt about it. But the thing is, I was it. I had to present it to him because he earned it. He earned my respect. Yeah, he came back. He hurt me. He low blowed me a couple times, but the fact that he was able to rise to the occasion, much like I did last year, and step up to the plate. As you can see, I'm wobbling from enough spears already, but I think that's what's great and what's great about our sport. People who can rise to the occasion and show that they can be the very best, even if they don't believably think they are. People
well,
can
he
do it.
certainly did.
People
Listen,
can
what
do anything. Like if you think about it, if you put your mind to something, literally, you can do anything. That phrase has been there forever. It's been around forever, but it holds true.
well, there's no question that it took everything and literally the kitchen sink to take that title away from you. And something tells me he's going to need to keep some of that left to beat Mr. Brightside because Mr. Brightside's, again, a guy that he's looking to reclaim gold. And I guess we'll certainly see. But there's where it is. It all ends. And Mr. Pierce defeats you. And but why shake his hand? Why bow down and give him the title? We're about to see that before we move on here and such. I'll get to some comments, but why did you do that?
You see, yeah, he put me through some hell the last few months. But as a man who fights with honor, believes in the backyard wrestling world, I just felt like it was the right thing to do to pass the torch like that out of respect. It wasn't because I was happy I beat him. As you can see, I was thinking about hitting him in the head with it and being a poor sport. But that's not what I wanted to do. That wasn't the right play for me. I'm a man of respect. I want backyard wrestling to be respected as a sport, as a hobby, as whatever you want to call it. I want us to belong. And passing that belt to Pierce, it sucked. I didn't want to do it.
It hurt. It hurt.
It,
It
it
hurt more
hurt.
than the U.S. title because this was your company. This was something that really last year you hadn't won a title other than the RCW Underground title in so long, and this was
Right.
this hurt. This hurt. I know.
It sucked. And like, I'm not gonna say it didn't because it did. The thing is though, it's just Pierce was the better man, and I had to respect him for that.
Well, we'll find out, and that's another reason why you want to support WCE Rise to the Occasion. If you haven't got a chance, go out and watch this show. What I would recommend, though, is the second half of the show, put it on mute because I'm
Yeah.
telling you that commentary, it certainly was interesting, but it's more interesting. What's so great about this card is that you can watch it and see almost go along. Imagine if I'm doing the commentary. How about that? Imagine if I'm doing the
Mm,
commentary on the match. The first half, the commentary was great, but just put it
word.
on mute. I promise you, put that commentary on mute because it'll certainly add a little bit more to the flavor. You can almost watch it in real time and get to see what Mr. Brightside does. You get a chance to see Jonathan Pierce and Shawn Jovi. Obviously, the triple threat main event, co-main event for the all-out title. All great stuff. And look at that WCE logo. This is why you need to support WCE. Hit that sub button for them. That's their links. Go out there and support them. Also, I want you to go, before we move on, obviously, and get ready to, talk about a few other things maybe. Shawn Jovi's on YouTube. Hit that sub button for him. Shawn Jovi's 4 subscribers away from 750. And I'm going to say this, ladies and gentlemen, when Shawn Jovi gets to 1,000 subs, Shawn Jovi's going into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame once again. Yeah. Sure, Shawn Jovi's. I want you out there. I got a bunch of you watching on YouTube. I got a bunch of you watching on Twitch. Hit that sub button. You get the Jovi's Quest. You get everything that Jovi does, real-time stuff. You get streams. You get Jovi with Fozzy. You get matches from Jovi. I mean, Jovi's got it all. He's definitely got it going on. And I'll tell you what, if Jovi can't be on commentary for the next XCW, for the WCE Black and Blue, that's Remy Ravage. But if Jovi isn't on commentary, or somebody like Jovi on commentary, just imagine Black and Blue, it's on mute, because you will feel Black and Blue with that commentary in the second half of the show. So let's just put it out there, please. Seriously, we love WCE, though. We love Shawn Jovi. Go hit that sub button. Let me get to some comments, though, because I want to make sure. Yeah, we definitely need that commentary. It sucked in the second half, actually. It sucked. I mean, really, that commentary, we want to make sure we get commentators that can go sit there and have their full divided attention to the matches, because for whatever reason, that commentary, I mean, it didn't cut it. I mean, Silver Wolf's commentary might have been just as entertaining. Yes, sir.
You want another job?
I want to keep my voice. Well, I'll tell you what, let's talk when we're off the air. Let's talk when we're off the air.
Joking, of course, but yeah.
Jovi is still a champion, sits ahead of the table, and he sits ahead of the table in the backyard wrestling circuit. I'll tell you what, I agree with you on that, though. Jonathan Pierce, he's on another level right now. I'll tell you what, he's on another level. Pierce hates clowns. Yeah, he definitely does. Want to say hello to my buddy who's here with us tomorrow afternoon, 4 o'clock. He's going to join us into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. His name is Anthony Arias. Anthony Arias is a man, of course, he's the man who founded the Backyard Wrestling Nexus. He has been a long-time yarder, FBW, SGW, good buddy of mine, your buddy, and everybody else's buddy, and he's going to join us into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. We're going to talk about the Nexus. Supernova 3 was very successful. A lot of great things with the Nexus. Ace Reed, everybody talks about Ace Reed right now. He's a hot topic. He's a Nexus member. We've got guys like ATK who've been in the Nexus, I mean, who's done very well for himself in XCW, and we've got also a lot of other guys that we've seen. CJ the Alpha Junt, Napalm, LBYW's killing it. I mean, so a lot of great stuff we're going to talk about here. And as far as I know, I didn't get any texting, wink and a nod, but I am definitely looking forward to Anthony Arias, a man that has been in our circuit for a long time. He's going to join Shawn Jovi and so many other great people into the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. If you haven't got a chance, go please support our friends at FBW. Go hit the sub button for them. Go check out the Backyard Wrestling Nexus. Sportswire has been proud to support the Nexus over the past year and a half. We certainly love everything about open collaboration, bringing shows together, guys together. I love all the great things the Nexus is doing. We want to make sure we recognize those that are in our community, making a difference for us, giving people a chance to be seen. The Nexus has done that. I want to continue to support those that support us, and I'm looking forward to Anthony Arias here. Maybe we need to go back to recording the commentary. Yeah, I mean, XCW does it. XCW does it. I think the guys in ALW do it. I think that there is a value in that. Speaking of people who've done ring announcing and commentary, yeah, well, I think there's a lot of things there, but whatever it was, just watch the second half of Rise to the Occasion on mute. Whatever you do, watch it on mute, because that commentator definitely, clearly might need to go back and look at the tape. If we could maybe re-upload that show with some better commentary even, or just put it on mute, that would be my advice. But thank you, Trinity, for tuning in, or Ashley D now. She is going maybe in the world of podcasting. Our buddy Ox McCoy, your buddy, my buddy, because you're obviously, you hate Ox McCoy. But you've beat Ox McCoy. So what can I say? Yeah. Well, I'm not going to remind him that. Only one match. I won a last man standing. Normal matches haven't won yet. when it comes to facing Marshall, and that's going back to even pre-WCE in 2012. How you doing? Thanks to see you, Orbiting Doom. C Money's in the house, a man that just lost to Justin Parsley, but put on a hell of a match. I know you and C Money obviously know each other a little bit from the IMF show. C Money worked, was it January? I think it was, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe so.
I'm twitching. Skulls is in the house, former WC member, also a respected vlogger, also working his way up in the California wrestling circuit. Says, good evening, everybody. Thank you, Skulls, for tuning in. I appreciate you for joining the conversation. Yes, we're obviously wishing everybody well. And, I get a lot of asked to do commentary. I mean, I've done some of it here, when James was here. I think Owen, we did a match, but we'll see. We'll certainly see what the future holds. Let's see. I tell you what. Get me to 1,000 subscribers. I'm almost there. We can have a conversation. Like I said, before I change over and get ready to close the show here, winking and nod soon, you get me to 1,000 subscribers, you're going to roast me like Tom Brady got roasted on Netflix, and you can come on here and I'll open the show for 4 or 5 hours. I'll keep the show open, and if you want to ask me something, you want to grill me, you want me to do commentary, whatever it might be, and I'm almost there. So I'm like 120 away. So we'll see. I appreciate that. Yes, Comatose named me that, and so did Darkron. A couple of guys. You mentioned it. Darkron did. I think James Taylor mentioned a couple of guys. Yes,
I appreciate it. It really is the truth.
Jack Spade has mentioned it. The icon Jack Spade. So Justin Parsley. I know a man you really hate, but I appreciate that, Anthony. And I can't wait to be here. But I do want to talk about something because I know this is a celebratory day of WC and we're celebrating, WC's history and WC getting a day. But, yesterday there was these kids and they were on a trampoline. There's this whole talk about trampoline wrestling. And, I hate to get into the middle of this, but this company in the state of Illinois, they're called Small Town Backyard Wrestling. These 3 young kids, and they look like maybe they probably were up past their bedtime, maybe up on their curfew, and they all of a sudden decided that they wanted to call out WCE, and they had a lot to say, and they said they wanted to put the nail in the coffin of WC, and they said you guys just no longer really are what you used to be in the backyard wrestling circuit. They feel that you've kind of just are past your primes and you guys are dinosaurs walking the earth at this point. And these young kids who look like, again, maybe they still are in adolescence or in puberty and probably had to ask permission or not ask their permission from their parents to come on this platform, had a lot to say all of a sudden against, I know this is a celebratory day of WC. I know this is really a special day to honor WC's history, but what do you think about what happened with these guys? Nolan Money McDermott, the STBW champion, the number 1 contender, Dalton the Executioner, a man that you've shared a locker room with, Tyler Fury, the owner of Small Town Backyard Wrestling. What do you think about what these young whippersnappers had to say about a Midwest backyard wrestling stalwarts like you guys in WCE?
You see, who's ready for story time, by the way?
I'm ready. Oh, I'm ready.
All right.
Jovi says I'm ready.
So I did watch the broadcast last night. I watched it. Yeah, of course I did. Until, I had to go to bed and do the other world that I live in, work. But I did stay up for most of it. And yeah, they had some comments. I'm not going to lie. But there's just one thing.
What?
I was like them once too.
Yeah.
We all know it. I was on a trampoline once. That's no secret. I once was a big fish in a small pond. But you know what happened when I got my feet wet in a bigger pond?
What?
I almost drowned. I almost drowned under the pressure of GBYWN. Known fact. We all know that. So what am I saying at this point about STBW? They're biting off more than they can chew, my man. And that's the thing. They can't just say they're going to put the nail in the coffin to us when they haven't even run the ropes yet. They don't know what a wrestling ring is. Tyler Fury does. He wrestled for IMF.
Are you taken back by Tyler Fury? Because you've shared a locker room with him in IMF. Did you see this coming at all? Was this something that, did you know that he felt this way about you guys in WC? I mean, I'm really taken back by this.
You know, it is kind of mind blowing. Like, I never really got to interact with Tyler Fury that much. Maybe he's just jealous I won't put him on my Jovi's quest. Maybe he wants his own bit for that vlog and he just couldn't get it. I don't know what Harry's got up his ass. I don't know what these other guys have problems with WC.
Did you
But if
even
they
know
want
who
to
these
try,
guys were? I mean, these guys were all of a sudden just. I mean, like it
no,
almost.
honestly, no. I had no idea who these guys were. I heard the STBW when I first went to IMF. I
Well,
think it
Felix
was
Rose got
yeah,
the
Felix
Tyler
was the
Fury.
champion at the time.
Yeah, he
And
was.
I was like, what the hell is STDW? I'm sorry, BW. I
Yeah,
said
I think
STD.
that's. I think a lot of people were like, it was just bizarre that these kids. I don't know
Yeah.
if they're degenerates. I don't know if they're. I just wanting to push you guys to the side. Do they want to finish the job that others have wanted in WC to put you guys to bed finally? And they were very comfortable in the fact comparing guys like yourself and Nicholas Crenson and James Marshall and Sinister, certainly Jonathan Pierce and Darkfire, the birthday boy. I mean, they were more than happy to compare you guys to Once Upon a Time dinosaurs and old farts like Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage and Ric Flair and Roddy Piper. They were comparing you guys to the old guys of the backyard wrestling circuit, and you guys should just step aside and just move on, really.
Now, you said an interesting word. They called us dinosaurs? Is that
They
right?
referred to you guys. They were comfortable when I used the term dinosaurs. They agreed with that. They agreed with the fact that
Do they even understand what dinosaurs do?
well, they might be in grade school soon. Still, these kids.
They obviously one go raw, but two, the more fascinating part about it is they eat people like them for breakfast. Let's be fair.
Ooh.
We will eat them alive. If they want to cross the line to Wisconsin and show up at WC and wrestle in a ring, some of them for the first time, I'm sure.
Do you think though these guys being younger, bigger, better than you guys ever were at some point that they feel they were very confident? I kept asking them, "Are you sure you want this?" I kept asking them. And they were confident. They were confident they could take you. They could take James Marshall. They could take Jonathan Pierce. And they could even take Sinister. I mean, Nolan Money McDermott was like, I'm 6'3". I'm comfortable with this. I can take these guys. No problem. Tyler Fury, I mean, I don't know what got into him. And this kid, Dalton, the executioner, I mean, he doesn't realize that Jonathan Pierce is also an executioner. And these guys were like, they were just like crazy. They kept even saying, you guys were WSE. I mean, they guys were just so confident. I mean, you want to talk about guys. I don't know if they were, picked upon on the school and they all of a sudden decided that they have this out of body experience, but they really want to put the nail in the coffin in WC. Today is, I hate bringing this up because tonight is a celebration of WC bringing all wrestling matters, all of us together. But these trampoliners all of a sudden want to trampoline on WC's legacy and almost in a way make themselves at the top of the Midwest backyard wrestling circuit. And they seem like they want to brawl you guys, have a backyard brawl almost.
Let me tell you, a trampoline and a wrestling ring, two completely different elements. You see, I was a trampoline wrestler once. We all know that. I said it earlier in the broadcast.
Yes.
But guess what? I grew up, I ditched the trampoline, and now I'm in a ring. So if they want to cross boundaries and cross the border to Wisconsin, they're going to be grown up. These kids have to grow up and graduate to the wrestling ring. Now, I don't see that being very plausible at all. It's not an easy transition. Ask people like, I don't know, like a Silver Wolf or any of them. They couldn't hang with the best. They couldn't handle the ring.
I don't even want to bring his name up. I
don't want to either, but it's just an example, like not everyone's fit to be in a wrestling ring.
But these guys feel like that they feel that they don't have to be in a ring. They've already shown that they've got the success, and they've shown that it doesn't matter because they're going to take you guys down and show that they're the premier Midwest backyard wrestling company in the Great Lakes. And they want to put the nail in the coffin to W. Kept repeating it over and over and over, and that they look at you, they look at James Marshall, they look at Sinister, and they look at Jonathan Pierce and yesterday's news, But apparently, Shawn Jovi, I don't know what's in my ear, but apparently there's a couple of these kids that I guess we heard from yesterday, and they seem like they've just reached out to me. And they, for whatever reason, I don't know, this is very disrespectful. I know I always like to teach people to respect your elders and to obviously, know your place in life.
Know your role.
But these young whippersnappers seem like they want to talk to you, and they just, for whatever reason, apparently I just received word, and I'm All Wrestling Matters, and I really have to be All Wrestling Matters. And these guys, these trampoliners, these outsiders, these Midwestern backyard wrestling nobodies, some would say, all of a sudden want to be somebodies, and I guess they're here. Wait a minute. My goodness, I saw these guys yesterday. It's Norman Barrett. It's Dalton the Executioner and Tyler Fury, and they're live in prime time, and they've confronted America's resident rock star, America's vlogger, America's cat dad, America's gold medalist. Gentlemen, it looks like you're here live. I'm not sure why, but tell us what is on your mind and what do you have to say for yourselves, and maybe even some explaining to Shawn Jovi, America's resident rock star.
Well, what's up, buddy? How are you doing today?
I mean, I was doing good until you guys interrupted.
Yeah. Well, you see, I personally have in-ring experience. I know what you're capable of. These two might not, but I do. And I've told them what you're capable of. And obviously, us three, plus Peyton, who's sadly not here right now because he's out sick, we think we could take you and WCE on.
You think so? I
didn't think so.
What I see here, you guys called me and everybody else in WC dinosaurs, right? Well, I see 3 packages of fresh meat right in front of me that I get to devour. That's what I'm seeing right now. I see 3 pounds of flesh and stuff for this dinosaur to eat for breakfast. So let's just get to the point. Guys, I respect the fact you guys want to put the nail in WC's coffin. I respect the fact you guys want to be the premier fed in Wisconsin and Illinois and, the Midwest, the Great Lakes. I respect the fact you guys want to do that. The problem is it ain't going to be at my expense. And it sure as hell won't be at WC's expense.
No one you can take away.
It won't be at your expense. We want to be the premier. No. We are the premier. You talking about sinking? We've been swimming a whole damn way. What have you been reigniting? Because we've been burning the house down with every single show that we put out. And that ain't nothing but the truth. I said that we're going to put the nail in the coffin. I meant every single word of it because SCW is going to run wild on WSC. I'm sorry, WC. My bad. Listen here, you big bitch.
Ladies and gentlemen.
It doesn't matter what championship you hold, buddy. Come on. I'm the real champion around here, not you. So you aren't.
Where's your title?
Occasion.
Where's your title, sport?
Don't worry about that.
Where's your title?
Don't worry about that. That's none of your business.
You got it, little squirt.
Oh, he's 6'3" though. Shawn Jovi, the resident rock star, America's resident rock star. Nolan Money McDermott is 6'3". He would even make.
It doesn't matter who it is.
Jonathan Pierce.
I mean,
bring him on. Whether it's
6'3",
Pierce, Shawn Jovi, it doesn't matter who it is. Bring him on.
Oh my God! They don't even work here. They're not even supposed to be here tonight, and they've taken over. The youth of the backyard wrestling circuit, the future. We are the youth of the backyard nation. These guys are the youth of the backyard nation. These guys are here, and boy, I tell you what, I'm stunned. Delton the Executioner. What do you want to say to yourself?
There's a lot to say, but you know what? We're gonna start off with the dinosaur part.
Yes.
You're gonna eat us for dinner. For one, that's
Breakfast.
kind of weird. That's kind of weird.
Breakfast, lunch, it's a figure of speech, kid.
But you're all talk until we get into the ring. I mean, wait until you step in the ring with me, Tyler, and Nolan. That will be a disaster for you. I swear, we're gonna tear you to pieces, piece by piece.
Oh my God.
By piece.
Oh my God. Piece by piece. I mean, you know what? I don't know if I've ever seen something like, we've seen directly the youth of the Backyard Nation. The youth of the Backyard Nation is right here in front of us. If you thought what Judas said to Darkrai, Judas didn't even call Darkrai out here on this platform. He saw him in person, but these kids that we don't even know if they're allowed to be here, if they'd asked parental permission, they've come here.
Curfew time?
They've come out here, though, and they have shown that, you know what? Shawn Jovi might be America's resident rock star. Sinister might be the all-out champion. Jonathan Pierce might be the executioner. The real executioner might be Dalton the executioner. And Mr. Brightside, he might not have much brights there. He might not be having a nightlight or any bright lights anywhere around him. But Peyton the Pacemaker, who's so enraged, he's so angry, he doesn't even want to be here tonight because he doesn't want to play Peacemaker. He's normally a peacemaker. Well, you're going to need a pacemaker. 4 of you or 5 of you in WC when he gets through with some of you, it seems. And Tyler Fury, I didn't even see where this is coming, but I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, it seems like is a backyard brawl forming in the Midwest and the Great Lakes between Illinois and Wisconsin, between WCE and STBW. Is that what I'm getting the sense of right now?
That's the whole point. That
You're
is the whole point.
Straight. Anybody can go to Walmart and buy themselves a chicken.
Ooh, Walmart. It's funny. I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm technically banned from the Walmart, because they couldn't handle my superstardom. So I couldn't get anything from Walmart even if I tried, man. But I think it's cute you guys are on here. It's adorable. You guys are up past your bedtime, past curfew, just to be here to interrupt little old me and WCE. Congratulations. You guys are stepping up to the plate. You're stepping up to the plate.
They use the old term again.
Old ass, come on, you're nothing but an old ass little bitch. He needs to go get tucked in by his grandson. Get the hell out of here.
Hey, I don't. STDW doesn't really mean much to me.
He called him STDW. He called him as. Listen, don't even look up the term STDs. Whatever it is.
STD wrestling, yeah.
You're just nothing but wasteless shit entertainment, buddy.
Oh, wait a minute. Did he just say something? Really? I don't even think Omen Black and Soldier GP said that about WCE once upon a time. These youth of the Backyard Nation have decided now that they want a trampoline on Midwest backyard wrestling stalwarts. WCE and battle lines are starting to be drawn. Is it young versus old? Is it today versus yesterday? Or is it just really about territory versus territory? And
it's now versus then.
Yeah. Hey, bring it on. Like I said, I used to be a trampoline wrestler myself. I can't discredit that. I will always have a heart for trampoline wrestling, whether people agree with it or not.
Oh, I love
it's wrestling. It's wrestling. It's still wrestling, and all wrestling matters.
And I want to make this clear for people. This is not trampoline versus ring. This is about supremacy in the Midwest. This is not about the debate of trampoline and non-trampoline because
I respect the trampoline. I just don't respect these guys interrupting me.
Right. Wrestling is wrestling. But this is tonight this is not about trampoline versus ring. This is not about running the ropes. This is about battle lines being drawn, I see, unexpectedly before we sign off tonight.
Right.
Because this was supposed to be a celebration of WC, but last night, all of a sudden, these small town backyard wrestlers, these youngins, these young whippersnappers, whether they're degenerates, outsiders, whatever they might be, have decided that they want to call out and declare their own independence. They want to take their own stand. They've started their own Labor Day weekend early and called out WCE, the company that really in many ways laid the foundation for all wrestling matters, the first backyard or underground wrestling company to come to Sportswire Radio. WCE is the founding fathers. They're the founding father of the All Wrestling Matters movement. And these small town backyarders have decided that they want to fire the shot and put the nail in the coffin to WCE once and for all. And I mean, you want to say something, Dalton the Executioner?
You're
on mute, Dalton the Executioner. You're in prime time. Let's get you. I'm going to unmute you because you're clearly Dalton the Executioner. It seems like, has Sinister come around? Has Sinister all of a sudden from the background? Has he muted Dalton the Executioner? If there's anybody that can do it, it's Sinister. Dalton the Executioner. Is Sinister behind you?
You know, if it is, I think Sinister did something right for once, and I love him for it.
Zip your lips. I'm tired of hearing.
Oh, he learned how to unmute his mic. Congratulations.
So I want to get a little bit about this executioner guy, so and so, I guess, in WCE. He thinks he's the real executioner, right? No. I'm sorry to bust your bubble, guys. But the real executioner is me, the one you see face to face, the one I'm coming for every single WCE person at all. Like I'm done playing around with WCE. It's either all bark but no bite. So whenever you got old men want to step up and face us, pick up the phone.
Challenges on the table.
You're in luck. You're in luck, kids. You're in luck. I am giving you the invite. I don't know when. I don't know where. I am not management. But I'm giving you guys the invite for a once-in-a-lifetime experience to come to our ring and face the very best WC has to offer.
Wait a minute. And speaking of management, I've apparently gotten this message from Craven Rage, a.k.a. Sinister, the All-Out Champion. I just got the word from WC Management. From Liz, our owner, by the way. Happy belated birthday to Liz. Shawn, Jovi, we've got the green light to wipe the floor with these kids. Is this going to be like Space Jam, the movie, when it was all of a sudden when all the Looney Tunes were just all of a sudden abducted and they saw all those big aliens? Is this what it's going to be? Or maybe these small town backyarders, they got something up their sleeve because they're the youth. They're the youth of the backyard nation.
They are. And I won't discredit that one bit. I was young
Time
too,
is
and
up.
I rose. I rose up when I got older. You guys have a future. I've seen your stuff. You guys are good, but you guys aren't amazing yet. So this is your chance to prove it.
You right back. Our foot's going straight at your ass.
Oh, you know what? I mean, listen, Jonathan Pierce didn't even be direct with you like that, Shawn Jovi. I mean, James Marshall hasn't done that to you. I don't even know if Soldier GP's been that forceful with you once upon a time, or certainly Isaiah Rage and Ace Diamond. I mean, this is something unlike I've ever seen before. You know, there's a lot of talk in the backyard wrestling circuit about battle lines being drawn. There's a lot of things it seemed to be squaring up, but this is different. You know, we're seeing a backyard havoc in Bremen, Ohio, November 9th to November 10th. But now it seems like we're getting a backyard brawl between Illinois and Wisconsin. I mean, one might be a swing state, but one might be solidly a blue wall. And maybe that blue wall is going to come crashing all down to purple Wisconsin and make these guys in Wisconsin not only black and blue, but purple permanently all over, because they may run them down up and down the backyard brawl whenever that time may be.
Hey, and when it comes, I'm ready. I'm ready anytime. You guys can come up anytime, and I'll whoop your asses back to little old Illinois. whatever small town you're from, I'll send you backpacking. And no doubt about it.
You see, I think it's going to be the other way around. Yeah, we'll be in your state, but I think we're going to wipe the floor with your guys' asses, and we're going to hand your asses to you. And by me saying that, I have one more thing to say, and the one more thing I have to say is STBW is about to unleash the fury on WCE.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, could that be the last word? This was supposed to be a celebration tonight.
Man, oh man.
Of
Celebration.
This was supposed to
and
be
that's
a
money, you
celebration.
little bitch.
Oh my God! Listen, this was supposed to be a celebration of
God, guys, I thought this was a family show.
This was supposed to be celebrating Darkfire's birthday, celebrating Jonathan Pierce's return, celebrating Shawn Jovi being America's cat dad, America's blogger, America's resident rockstar. This was even to celebrate Liz. This was even to celebrate Sinister of all people. But this has turned into a backyard brawl. It seems like it's young versus old, nails in the coffin. It seems to be about yesterday versus today, then, now, and forever. I mean, this just, to me, it seems to be a synopsis right now in the backyard wrestling circuit. It seems like the new generation, the youth of the backyard nation has been fed up, and they can't take it anymore. They can't take the attacks anymore on social media. They can't take anymore being held down when it comes to the same guys winning the same matches and the same guys being champions. They've had it. They're fed up. They want change. And change very well could be coming to the extent, just like when dinosaurs roamed the earth, WCE could be extinct, could very well be extinct. If these young whippersnappers, these degenerates, these outsiders, these kids that probably still haven't fully gone through puberty and adolescence, who may not even be allowed to be here unless their parents gave them super permission and supervision, they've decided that they don't need any of that. They're here to take what they want. They're here to take everything that WCE has built and the All Wrestling Matters movement. And we very well could be looking at the 3 new faces in the Midwest of the future. Could it be then, now, and forever? I don't know. Could it be WCE seeing their very last days on Sportswire Radio? I don't know. Could it also be WCE's about to, step on and squash these young kids almost like those that squash Anthony? Oh, my God. Is that Peyton the pacemaker? The Peacemaker. Is he does he need a pacemaker on here? I don't even know, but I have received word. I have received word from management. James Marshall, the measuring stick of WCE, that we've got someone new for WCE to put the kids back in their beds. Oh, God. I don't know if you guys have school tomorrow. I don't know if you guys have to do your homework. I don't know if you have to be ready to go do a Zoom with your classmates. I don't know what it is, but I know one thing. We're going to be hearing a lot more about this, I would hope, the next several weeks on Sportswire, because I'm excited because we've got a backyard brawl.
Yeah.
Illinois and Wisconsin. And before we sign off, I'll get to comment because I think these guys, we may need police. We may need the backyard circuit to break these guys up. We may need IMF, DKW officials. We may need IMF talent. We may need ROBW talent, ALW talent. And let's see here. Who the
By the end of the day, you're going to need God to break us up.
What? Well, you know what? I am a reverend, but I'm not going to break you guys up because you guys will kill me here. Tyler, what the hell? I thought you
deep.
were
It's very deep.
This is what people are shocked. Tyler Fury. I mean, he was a good baby face. He was a baby face, an all-American, middle-of-the-road baby face, and now he's decided that he's calling the biggest shot yet. Jovi, teach these boys what is going on with the likes of Judas, the likes of Tyler Fury, Nolan McDermott, Dalton the Executioner. I don't know. Yes, hello there, James Taylor. Our friends in BCW. Trampoline wrestling is important. These kids remind us of ourselves a few years ago when we first began BCW. Tyler, you made the biggest mistake. You think you can bring us down? Well. Oh, my God. Who would have ever thought that Sinister and Shawn Jovi would be aligned? Nicholas Crenton calls you guys adorable. I mean, listen, you guys, I don't know. I wouldn't go that far. We're a family station. Don't diss STEW. They're not perfect, well-rounded like everyone else, but yet neither was I years ago, and look at where I am. Oh, boy, Aaron Blaze.
I mean, same here. Like I said, I'm not discrediting these guys.
I know I had differences with Jovi, but I know these little kids need sleep in their beds. Oh, my God. We're talking about bedtime like Christ. I started at 12. Can't kill people for this passion they have. I wrestle on the ground when I'm not traveling, and nobody says anything like it ain't that deep. Not everyone can afford a ring with their day-to-day life either. Battle lines are being done right now. The young guys are with them. The old guys that have always been bags and having the coattails riding off each other. The cliques are going to be with who they want to be with. But the young, we're seeing the Jacob Frosters, the Aaron Blazes. They're aligning with Nolan McDermott, Fulton the Executioner, Tyler Fury. Could that maybe be an open door for those individuals to show up to the state of Wisconsin? If you're Aaron Blaze, if you're Jacob Frost, do you want to show up? Do you want to show up and work with small-town backyard wrestling? Could we be seeing the trampoliners versus the ringers?
I will
Let's see it.
I'll even go on a trampoline one more time. Let's do it.
4 up, 4. Omen Black, you know he's back in Jovi. You know he's back in Jovi. I'm sorry, when WCW is that great, I'm not sending shots. I'm just saying I legit never hear any of them unless they're working with. See, the young people, there you go. That's what Judas was saying about DKW. DKW riding the coattails of IMF. He's insinuating that WC is riding coattails. And this is what the youth of the Backyard Nation feel. They are tired of the same old people. They're tired of the same old trends. They're tired of the same old cliques. They're tired of the same old people riding the coattails off each other, and they want change. It's a presidential year after all. People want change, and it seems like, can these young whippersnappers, the youth of the Backyard Nation, well, do they want the smoke? Well, you know what? You're going to find out, kids. You're going to find out. WCE and guys like them, they got the attention. They got it. They got your attention. And we're going to find out what the future is. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't think there's anything else more to say. You got the last word. I'm going to cut you off because I got to run. Go ahead.
What I got to say, WCE, get ready to be executed.
Oh, the nail in the coffin. The nail in the coffin.
And
oh, my God. The nail in the coffin. And also, Justin Parsley, of all people. New Testament guys want to roll on the ground and bounce around. Old Testament guys never looked back after God gave us rings. Who would have thought Justin Parsley on the same side as Shawn Jovi and Omen Black on this? We're almost seeing New Blood versus is it the New Blood versus the Millionaires Club? Are we seeing the guys that have been on top and they've come and been on top and they're protecting their spots? Of course we'd see this, ladies and gentlemen. Of course we'd see the veterans protecting their spots. That's what wrestling is. But the youth of the Backyard Nation, they're not going to take it anymore. They're not keeping the faith anymore. They've had enough of these days. They're going to definitely bounce off the trampoline into the ring. And if they have their way, they're going to crush the veterans. And they're going to say, have a nice day. And put those guys on WCE's behinds in a lost highway somewhere with the nail in the coffin. And boy, the chat is firing up. The time to be is unhinged. IMF is welcoming everyone. Could IMF all of a sudden be deciding they're joining? Who knows? I wouldn't be shocked. It's Omen Black.
I would love a super show.
It's a problem enough that you thought you have Justin, but you and Silver Wolf, I might retire. Oh my God. Door is welcome. Aaron Blaze's company saying he's in Pennsylvania. You want allies? Come on down. Tonight, the battle lines have been drawn. The battle lines have been drawn. STBW, get ready to live on a prayer and rest in peace. And boy, could you guys aren't going to be living on a bed of roses. You guys might be living in a bed of nails. It might be 7,800 degrees Fahrenheit if these guys get their way. And you guys might be, well, let's just say you guys might be in a circle and you're not going to be legendary. WC is going to, put you guys in a legendary blaze of glory if they have their way, because this will definitely be something to believe in, or this ain't a love song for those out here tonight. There's no love between these gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the story of small town backyard wrestling deciding to crash the WC party. I gotta run 20 seconds.
Oh, no. Very respect to you, but as far as John Jovi,
Oh,
far
he
as you
said
go-
Bon Jovi.
listen,
He
man.
didn't even say Bon Jovi. He called him John
Listen,
Jovi.
man.
I mean, why would you insult my father like that?
Ladies
Come
You're
on,
and
nothing-
man.
gentlemen,
You're
Chaos
nothing but
versus
scum
veterans.
under my shoe.
It's the young versus the veterans. It's today versus tomorrow. Whatever it might be, I know one thing. Shawn Jovi is here Sunday. I hope that these young whippersnappers, the youth of the Backyard Nation, pay their respects and maybe pay their dues Sunday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time with Remy Ravage and Shawn Jovi.
Yeah.
We'll see if they'll have the courage to try to interrupt that show, especially Remy Ravage. I have no idea, but I tell you what, it's Shawn Jovi. Shawn, congratulations on WC's. I am so sorry
Thank
that this happened to WC. I am so sorry this happened to Liz. And Nolan, McMoney, McDermott, Dalton, the Executioner, Tyler Fury, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you guys coming on here. Obviously, it was not announced, but we do appreciate that you guys had something to say, and we let everybody say something on this platform. We are all Wrestling Matters, and whether you're on a
Absolutely.
trampoline, a mat, a ring, and everything else in between, we respect all those. But I tell
Hell,
you
even
what,
in a park, like
I don't even know if
wrestling comes on many platforms.
it's all Wrestling Matters, but these guys don't like each other, and we'll have to see what the future is of that. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally, we're all Wrestling Matters. Hit that sub button for STBW, STBW_Wrestling 2022. WC Heat on YouTube. I'm at Sportswire Radio 6579. Hit the sub button for me. I'm almost at 1,000 subs. Thank you so much, everybody. We will see everybody tomorrow, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. And until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one Global Radio station, that is Sportswire Radio, where